Hello everyone, AntoLne here. You might have noticed that when I play Minecraft, I like playing it safe. My playstyle is very far from all those flashy speed bridges, wall jumps, and last second bed explosions. I'd rather just lose a few seconds, but be able to finish the run that I'm playing. Now, what Minecraft speedrunning category requires the runner to be extremely careful and play safe. The answer is FSG. No, just kidding. The answer is half-heart hardcore. You might have heard of this category with the weekly thing covering Scissors' insane 25 minutes run, but for those of you who are not aware, half-heart hardcore is a category that requires you to beat Minecraft without being able to take a single tick of damage. And it's hard difficulty, and if you die, you're not allowed to respawn. To a normal person, that sounds like an extremely painful experience, but for Minecraft speedrunners, it's actually just as painful. So I thought, okay, Scissors' RSG PB is about 11 minutes, and his half-heart hardcore PB is 25 minutes. So with my RSG PB of 1959, it would probably be reasonable to aim for sub 40, and also go without a shield, because they cannot defeat the purpose of such a challenging category. So I started my stream over at twitch.tv/AntoLne, by the way, created a test world to show how easy it was to die in that category. That doesn't count, by the way. And then, on my first ever half-heart hardcore world ever created, I got this run. So the run started pretty normally, and I quickly noticed a desert temple in the distance. This is a very important structure for me, because its loot table contains golden apples, which can actually be used in half-heart hardcore for a temporary 2 extra hearts. Though in this category, you can't just drop in the temple like you would in RSG. So I used sand to get to the bottom safely, and grabbed TNT and chests, which did contain a good amount of gold and the golden apple that I was looking for. My next step was then to find a village for food and iron, which I did. Punching that golem was much scarier than you would think, when it could crush my bones with a flick. At least I didn't need much food, as it was only used to keep sprinting, rather than having to restore my health, since you cannot take any damage anyway. I then located a second village that was gonna secure more iron for the run, which meant that I could get an iron pickaxe, which is very important for bastions. I also ran right next to a ruined portal, which had enough lava for me to build another portal later. I still checked the chest for iron, found 4 flint and steel instead, which looked quite funny, and I decided to run to the village first, as I didn't want to risk having to high roll for iron in the nether. I grabbed the extra iron, and then realized I was probably gonna die to something stupid like a cactus or a magma block, rather than something actually dangerous. But I did manage to make my way back to the ruined portal safely, avoiding magma blocks, and entered nether at around 7 minutes, which is slow for RSG, but still on pace for my sub 40 half-heart hardcore goal. And of course, it was Basalt Delta. Thankfully, I managed to array for a bastion and headed northeast for it. I got some netherrack using TNT and a button instead of a flint and steel, which is very important so it would not anger piglins, and I started bridging slowly towards the bastion. Making boats was also a smart play to be able to drop from high places without taking fall damages. Since I was wearing golden armor, I wasn't too scared of piglins whatsoever. At this point, I still feared magma blocks more than anything. But then, I realized that I was in a crimson forest, which meant hoglins. It's tables, I hate it. I'm gonna reset its tables. Tables is horrible. In every way possible. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that, but the good news was, it wasn't actually stables. I assumed it was because of all the hoglins I could see, but it was actually just a housing bastion, which is much better, but the Crimson Forest was causing hoglins to spawn in it, which is absolutely terrifying. I made my way to the bottom of housing, because we all know that the lower you are, the least likely it is that you fall, and maybe because there was a hoglin at the top anyway as well. And I dug through the normal manhunt wall to start getting the gold safely. without angering any piglins before I was completely out of any potential danger. At this point, I probably did my biggest mistake of the run, which was to go back up the bastion to check the triple chests for obsidian, before even checking the bottom chest that I just ran right next to. I ended up not finding any obsidian from those 2 triple chests, and after making my way slowly back down the bottom, I found all the obsidian I needed in that double chest. And I was now able to exit the bastion and find a fortress. This process was quite slow, as being on half a heart did not allow for pearling around at all. I had to find one by simply walking around the nether. So I came back to my spawn, since Puzzle Delta guaranteed I would at least not have to deal with skeletons, ghasts or hoglins, and this biome cannot have bastions either, so there was either going to be nothing in that biome or there was going to be my fortress. And after several minutes of digging through a wall, which I would have 100% reset if that was RSG, finally my fortress was here. My first encounter was quite scary though, as it was a wither skeleton, which I killed as safely as I could, but then I knew that there was going to be a blaze spawner right around that corner. Ah! No! Okay, so if I'm being honest, that skeleton should have killed the run any day of the week, but somehow it missed its arrow and then left, which allowed me to come back to the spawner and start farming rods. It was not so free of all danger though, as blazes can still hit you with their melee attack. I had to wait for waves to spawn, engage from a distance, and run back as quickly as I could. And with the amount of pearls that I had, I thought it would be safer to leave on at least 7 rods, when most RSG runs leave on 6. And my fire resistance was slowly expiring. My coordinates were absolutely terrible for blind traveling, but I did not want to risk leaving this place and getting sniped by another skeleton, so I just decided to build my portal here anyway, and exited right on a frozen ocean. All that I needed now was to avoid trident drowns and, yeah, polar bears. I also needed to pray that the stronghold would be ocean exposed, which is quite rare. Once I reached the stronghold ring, I threw a second eye, and the angle changed a lot, and at this point I knew it was going to be ocean exposed, and surely it was. The portal room was even one of the first rooms that I saw, but I was still terrified of going inside because of the silverfishes. Surprisingly enough, they didn't go around the portal frame as they usually do, and I was able to enter the end fairly quickly, around 33 minutes. Now, the risky strat in half-hard hardcore end fights would be to wait for a purge and eat the golden apple to one cycle. But as I mentioned, I do not like playing risky, especially after this good of a run for me. So I just grabbed my bow and the arrows that I looted in the bastion, and I started shooting the towers. I was just planning on killing the dragon with my axe once all the towers were done. I was honestly terrified of everything, looking at an enderman, walking in the dragon's breath, getting hit by the wings. Everything was still so stressful. So I will let you enjoy the full dragon fight. I hope you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. Where did my aim go? I think one left. that's it. I'm so scared. I think that's third place if I finish, but let's not even start speculating. I'm not gonna approach. Oh, my axe is gonna break. Please don't turn. Oh, I'm so scared. Okay. I'm so scared every time the dragon moves. For fuck's sake. Every single thing is terrifying. The slightest... Oh my god.